Greetings everyone, this is Peter Venkman in direct from Moscow, and I'm here today to assist to the inauguration of the first transcontinental railroad, and with this the newly built super train Gaia that is supposed to travel these rails. Now this is a big day for the world, and I'm sure you've heard of the project before because it's been in development for more than 20 years already. And we're glad it finally came to an end. As you've probably guessed it, this super train is meant to travel through all the continents. Well, almost, as it sadly can't reach for Oceania right now. But it will rally 5 of them, meaning Africa, Europe, Asia, North America and South America. It has 49 different stations spread over more than 40 different countries, and this train will pass through at least 60 different countries, finally uniting the world. Hence the name of the first train being Gaia, as Mother Earth in the Greek mythology. This crazy project was submitted and financed by Delight creator and current CEO Steve Lloyd. As he said, he always loved trains, and it always made him sad that the railroad system was so closed and different, making travel through train fairly hard. Plus, as he added, the oil prices rising made sure of one thing, that we would need to bring back the trains in our lives, as these are the most efficient ways of transport. But his main goal, as he mentioned, was just to be able to gaze at the landscape of the different countries within a single ride. For sure, he still has his childhood soul, and he'll be boarding the train with all the other passengers. And speaking of passengers, what a number! This particular train can transport over 4,000 passengers. But not only sitting passengers, but sleeping passengers, as this train is just but a huge sleeper train. All these passengers are spread out through 10 different wagons, 6 of them being fully fledged little buildings on wheels. There are first class, second class and sitting classes. Plus with that, customers have access to 3 different restaurants, a bar, a gaming hall, a cinema and even a show scene. And the crew is composed of more than 100 people, including pilots, chiefs, engineers, technicians and all the other staff members. Now this train is a town on its own. It is massive, and to give you an idea of its size, I'll hand you some of its specs. The train is in itself 10 meters wide, while normal train rarely exceed 3 meters wide. This actually led the engineers to design the train so it would have 2 rows of wheels instead of 1, making the train sit on 2 parallel railways, ensuring it would spread out the weight correctly. And what way? Because this particular train weighs more than 20,000 tons, making it the heaviest land transport system in the world. But as a Guinness World Record never comes alone, Gaia is also supposed to become the longest passenger train ever, reaching more than 1,200 meters long. As for the height, it is more than 10 meters high. And as if it wasn't enough, Gaia is supposed to have a top speed of more than 400 kilometers an hour, but will have an average speed ranging between 300 and 400 kilometers an hour, allowing it to complete the tour of the world in under 15 days. Now, it's not all, as Gaia is not only a passenger train, but it's also a cargo train. Indeed, it will be carrying 1,040-foot long containers for its first ride. Cargo trains are actually way faster than cargo ship, making such railway an excellent trading investment. But you may be wondering something. How is this gargantuan train being powered? As there seem to be no electrical wires running alongside the railroad, nor could it be fuel powered, as this would be too expensive. Well, this train is actually steam powered. It has more to do with our old steam locomotive than with our modern electric trains. But it has a twist, because this steam isn't produced by burning dirty coal. No, it's produced by the heat of a nuclear reactor located in the front of the train in the locomotive. The nuclear reactor was actually the only source of power that could provide the 80 megawatts needed for the train to move. The steam produced by the nuclear reactor is mostly sent to the 4 main pistons, providing the initial starting push of 60,000 horsepower. The rest of the steam is being directed towards turbines that create electricity for the train, but that also powers some smaller electric motors located all along the train on the little wheels, giving it an extra 20,000 horsepower. Now, this hasn't gone without controversy, obviously, but engineers assured us that this is the latest technology on hand and that no nuclear reactor has never been that safely built before. The reactor is equipped with multiple fail-safe that will trigger as soon as a problem arises, preventing any disaster. More so, the reactor can be cooled using liquid air instead of water, making the cooling process a lot quicker. But most concern actually raised from the possibility of the train derailing, as this could lead to a major nuclear disaster as the train is traveling at impressive speeds. But once again, the development team made sure to acknowledge those possibilities. And for that, they built multiple security systems. First of all, the railway itself. As said before, the train sits on 4 different rails, meaning that even if one rail fails, the train will be able to pass. It can actually endure 2 rails failing at the same time if they are on opposite track. This makes the risk of derailing a lot lower. But even if by chain of event it came to get out of track, the train has been fitted with what the engineers called retro rockets. These are the nozzles you can see at the rear of the locomotive. A bit like airplane can revert their thrust to slow down faster, Gaia can use its steam as a propellant and slow down in the event of an emergency braking or derailing. Plus, the reactor is shielded in lead and with a 10 cm thick stainless steel envelope, the whole being protected by titanium outer layer, making sure that nothing can get through these walls. Now, this is all for me, as I must board this train too. I've got my ticket. And I'll be reporting from the inside of the train later on, so stay tuned to see what's more.